Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor and got a lot to cover, so let's start here. Here's a Ripple video.
I've been with Ripple for nearly 6 years. We've been around since 2012 when we were founded with a vision of the Internet of Value, and that's to move value or money the way that information moves today.
Benefits of Ripple I see is the cash flow that they can add to our customers.
The networking here is amazing. It's not, and I don't think it's just the networking. It's the afterthought of, what can we do better in industry?
Been fantastic, so good meeting new people and some that I have interacted with before. But it's just great to always see new faces and then see new ideas that have come to life. So yeah, it's been fantastic.
It's been great, Natalie. Good to connect with people in the industry and talk about some of the solutions that are unavailable tonight.
Yeah, it's been a great evening. It's been great meeting the people from Ripple and learning about what they do and how they can benefit my business.
Ripple is an online solution that can help in making sure that payments come through on time and at the same time can offer value and savings to the different companies out there.
The key takeaway for me is everyone calling for efficiency in the funds flow, right? So I'm so glad there are so many technology companies like ourselves, like Ripple, and then we are going to bring a really solid solution to the industry, no matter trading companies, logistics, or financial service.
Looks like something they had out in Australia. Now, don't forget, we got one more day. Tomorrow, June 30th, so I guess technically the next day. Tomorrow is when MiCA comes into play in Europe. So we're watching that. Now, we covered yesterday the Chevron deference, the Supreme Court ruling that everybody thinks is going to greatly gut Gary Gensler and his crusade against crypto. This guy's an attorney that was on Bankless, and this clip, I listened to the whole thing, but this right here is where it gets interesting. Listen to what he says about how this ruling will affect crypto.
The implication there being that if and when, most likely I would say 90+% probability, Chevron.
Keep in mind, this was recorded before that ruling came out yesterday, and the ruling came out favorably, in other words, favorable for crypto. So what he's talking about is if it comes out this way, because it was filmed before that.
Is at minimum significantly curtailed, if not completely removed. There will be no question, but that the regulator assault on crypto is basically done. I mean, it's done. And that actually has significant implications about whether or not you actually want to see legislation. As it stands, I can tell you, I personally do not want any legislation passed. It's much better. We're so early in crypto. If you write something with a certain definition or understanding now, it may not be relevant 6 months from now, much less 30 years from now. And it is almost impossible to get something taken out of law once it is put in law. This is why you hear about these laws from the 1800s. It's very difficult to repeal them. Arizona is having to do this now in the context of Roe v. Wade and the abortion decision. There's 1800s law that they're having to quickly repeal. So you don't want. I think, in my opinion, with the exception maybe of a very narrow stablecoin bill, I personally would just prefer to have no regulation. And that is especially true because almost any day now, the agencies are going to be completely neutered. The SEC is going to be done. Their assault on crypto is basically going to be cut off at the legs. I think they know that. And I think it's one of the reasons why they have implicitly, kind of pivoted.
So I think that it also may be the reason that Gary Gensler dropped the lawsuit against consensus yesterday on the day of that ruling. He said SEC assault has been neutered, and that will be my thumbnail. Okay, check this out. Coindesk once again tried to throw shade on Ripple. Yesterday, Ripple won big in California court last week, but the judge's ruling muddied the waters on whether XRP could be considered a security crypto. Lawyers say it's a symptom of bigger problem. So not only did Brad Garlinghouse correct them by saying Coindesk, this is embarrassing. The California judge did not call XRP a security. In fact, only XRP and Bitcoin have clarity in the US. That's something they don't want to talk about. You've already had to delete a misleading tweet after correcting a misleading tweet on this topic once. The industry needs Coindesk to be better. Then they get corrected by X. Readers added context. The ruling in California did not affect the non-security status ruling by Judge Annalisa Torres in New York. This was confirmed by Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderati. Then here's Stuart Alderati taking another shot at Gary. Gary Gensler says the SEC is a cop on the beat, created to freely police anything it wants. Today, reversing Chevron, the Supreme Court made clear that the opinions of the zealous bureaucrats deserve no special deference, and their authority is constrained by Congress and courts. Eleanor Terrett, another big win. A big win for clarity over secondary market sales of digital assets. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson has just dismissed the SEC's claim that secondary sales of Binance's BNB token qualify as securities under the Howey test, citing Ripple's Judge Annalisa Torres' opinion that the economic reality of the token's transactions mattered when applying Howey. So she's reinforcing Judge Annalisa Torres' opinion. Gary just keeps on freaking losing. Look at this tweet from Wheezy. Wheezy's on top of things right here. One of the sleuths. Think about this. Tether's biggest client was Alameda Research of FTX. FTX leadership were huge DIM donors. FTX had former CFTC regulators employed. FTX allegedly used Ukraine to funnel money into the Democratic politician hands back home. FTX allegedly used Deltec Bank to create and sell Tether for profit. Tether's Stuart Hogner involved in Ultimate Bets, cheating scandal, and legal advisor in early Ethereum. Tether choosing BDO Italia for its audits. BDO Italia affiliated with BDO USA, which is a tenant of China's Wang Zhang in Chicago. Wang Zhang heavily involved with Ethereum's development and creation. Wang Zhang working with Penny Pritzker and her family on a multi-billion-dollar real estate deal in Chicago. The judge that approved the sale of military technology in the A123 Chinese Wang Zhang now works at Hogan Lavelle, which is a member of the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. Obama's former ambassador to China was Max Baucus, who founded the Max Baucus Institute, MBI, in Chicago. A huge sponsor of the MBI is Wang Zhang. Biden choosing Pritzker to lead Ukraine's economic recovery. Pritzker, you see it, folks? You see all this? And then he's got a clip from these guys. I'm not going to play that. Look down here. We do need to read over this part. Perkins Coie and BDO USA are tenants of Wang Zhang in Chicago. Former Perkins Coie attorney Mark Elias was paid $30,000 by Mind the Gap for his services. Elias is also the person that helped facilitate payments to Perkins Coie for the Steele dossier against Donald Trump. It's all one big cancerous network that has taken years in the making. Folks, it's all tied together. I've said this 1,000 times. It's all tied together. ETHgate was tremendously important in starting to unravel all of this stuff, folks. Look at this. Goldman Sachs is having a digital assets conference. If you remember, if you've been listening to my show for a long time, you'll remember the official father of the Digital Asset Investor Channel, who is my dad, always told me, if JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs aren't involved, it ain't happening in finance. And he Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan have been involved from the beginning, in my opinion. Now, here's the Bitcoiners aren't going to like this from Peter Thiel.
You sold any of your Bitcoin?
I still hold some. I've you know, there are all these ways I didn't buy as much as I should have, and I'm not sure it's going to go up that dramatically from here.
From here.
All right, and then I won't go into this, but apparently they've created a built on the XRPL. I guess it's coming out of Ripple, where they're featuring different people that are building things on the XRP ledger, and you can go and watch these things. Go probably start at RippleX dev there. Okay, in DAIXRP.com, here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to revisit an old crypto friend. One of my favorite things in the world that I've covered over the last 6 years, and I really miss this stuff. We're gonna show a cryptic tweet from one of the old friends, and we're gonna cover what I think. You know, we've had all this corruption we've been covering all this time, but now I think we're over ground zero of the corruption, and I think that it is finally about to be gone after. I think you're about to see Pandora's corruption box open, and I think that this is what's going to be the catalyst to do it. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that away we go.